Our next exercise in this first phase of training is called a single leg RDL, written in the program SLRDL, so single leg RDL. For this, you can use a kettlebell, you can use a dumbbell, and I'm also going to show you how to use a barbell as well for those of you who need a little bit more of a challenge in this exercise. So if you remember our variables or the tempos that we're going to do this exercise for, 4 seconds down, 2 seconds hold, and 2 seconds back in again. We want all of those stabilization muscles to kick in. We're going to add a little bit of load in to make it a little bit tougher, to make everything across your core start to work and everything through your shoulders, setting that shoulder position start to work. This exercise is going to help progress onto your deadlifts. So very, very similar movement pattern at the hip that we're going to look at in this exercise. It's going to translate quite nicely across to your deadlifts when you start to build a little bit more strength in the later stages of this program. So key thing is in this one to make sure you go nice and slow and make sure you get glutes working and make sure you get a good hip hinge is what we call it, which is a nice movement of the hips going back and back forwards again. So we want to see that hip hinge in this exercise. That's the key thing that you're trying to work in this exercise, ready for your deadlifts in the later programs. So first of all, let's show you with the kettlebell. So onto that single leg again. Remember, when you go onto a single leg, your hips still want to stay level, your shoulders still want to stay level. You don't want to see any lopsided or anything like that. You're also going to have a load or a weight in one hand, so make sure you do not let that shoulder drop down. You're going to have to hold your body position, so hold that posture nice and strong to maintain your position on these ones. So whichever leg you want to start on, left or right, the kettlebell is going to go into your opposite hand. So I'm going to start working on my left leg, so my right arm is going to hold the kettlebell. So standing on one leg, kettlebell is going to go straight down in front of me. I'm going to squeeze my shoulders back, push that chest forward, so setting those shoulders into a nice position. Core is going to be working. From there, I'm going to hinge, so hips are pushing back all the way down and back up again. Make sure as you go down with these ones, you don't want that shoulder to drop down. So shoulders are set back, stays nice and square across the shoulders, tip down, back up. So 4 seconds down, 2 second hold at the bottom, and then 2 seconds nice and controlled back on the way up again. So if you have a little look from the side, you can see what's happening at that hip position. So I'll swap legs, you can see this is the hip that's going to be working this time. I've switched arms, so make sure it's always the opposite arm to the leg that you're working on. So nice straight, shoulders pulled back, nice flat back position. Hinging down at that hip. So nice and controlled. Remember the tempos on this one. So if you haven't got a kettlebell, you can use a dumbbell, exactly the same thing. Set that dumbbell into that arm, shoulders pulled back, nice set position. Finally, last one I'm going to show you, if you want to have a go with a barbell. These ones are a little bit tougher. The barbells are obviously a little bit heavier. So remember, in this program, you've got quite a lot of volume. So build up to this one. If you can do it with good posture, then this is a good way to progress yourselves. So again, onto single leg, make sure shoulders pulled back, that core switched on. Exactly the same thing, tipping down. Nice and controlled, and stick to the tempos. That exercise is our single leg RDL.